There's nothing quite as satisfying as homemade food that uses fresh ingredients to nourish the ones you love. Baking from scratch and cooking without cans and boxes may seem overwhelming, but with some tips and practice, anyone can do it. Not everything always goes as planned, but being flexible is part of the fun. The garden is just producing like crazy. I have things like blueberries that I need to process. I have zucchini that is just coming out of the garden and I have to do something with it. I had jams I wanted to get done, a pie to make, to prepare for pizza night. I had my usual daily tasks, lunch to be made, snacks for the kids. So come along with me on a day when I have so much to do, not enough time, and show you sort of how I multitask and what I actually get to accomplish. I need to get some tomato sauce done. We want to have pizza night tonight, so I'm going to use these 3 jars and turn them into tomato sauce. I have all 4 kids with me right now, and my husband's mowing the lawn, so let's see how much I can actually accomplish. These are San Marzano tomatoes that I canned last year. I'm going to use an immersion blender, blend it down, and just cook it down on the stove. You want some? Want blueberries? This jar will be hard to use the immersion blender with, so I'm going to transfer it to the larger jar, the one with the wider rim, and then I'll be able to blend it straight in, and then I'll pour it into the pot and get it on the stove.
No, thanks. I don't like that. I would like this. No. I love stuff like that. Thanks.
Okay, so once I blend it, I'm just going to pour it into here and repeat. I'm going to use some water to get the last bit of it out.
It's not a bowl.
There we go. Okay, I'm going to put this on the stove. It's going to take a while. I really need this to thicken up nicely. I'll add some salt and oregano to it. Oh, I see Daddy out on the lawnmower. I want to finish my bagels now. My dough has risen, so I'm going to get a pot full of water and I'm going to get that boiling on the stove while my baby pulls all my spices out of the drawer. Anything to keep them satisfied while I try to get some work done. So I have my pot of water. I just need it to boil. A quick snack I'm making for them is just sort of a quick smoothie, strawberries. Oh, whoops.
That was funny what you did.
Did I drop them everywhere? Here I'm adding about a cup of yogurt and I also pour in the whey. Maple syrup. Does that look good? So good. Of course, we had to share the smoothie with the baby too. She really enjoys this drink, so much that she grabs some on her own. So like bagels I need for lunch, the sauce I need for dinner, but when it comes to things like zucchini and cucumbers, if I don't get that done today, that's okay. I can do it later, I can do it tomorrow, as long as I do it before it rots. I'm gonna try to do these bagels really quick. I'll just brush the oil all here. The bagels don't stick. Here's my dough that I have. It's risen plenty. Punch it down. The best part. Oh, thank you. I'm going to separate this dough into 8 pieces. I want to have them to be relatively uniform in size, but they don't have to be perfect. The dough's a little sticky. I'm just going to use some flour. Hey! I will link all of the recipes I make today in the description below. Here I'm just forming these into little balls and I'm using my hand to sort of run them in a circle over the countertop, and then I'm poking a hole and just stretching it out. I'll repeat that process 8 times now. This often happens around lunchtime where the kids start to get hungry, the baby starts to get tired, and I find myself having to rush through this process. I probably should have started these bagels earlier, but we actually slept in on this day, so I was going to take advantage of that. Last one. Let's get this one. I had to take a bit of a break to tend to my kids, but now I really need to get these bagels cooking. Sometimes we just need to be flexible. I'm putting some honey in the water. It's almost boiling. This lid doesn't quite fit. I don't know where the lid to that pot is, but that's okay. I'm lining another baking sheet with parchment paper. This is what the bagels will go on after they go into the water, and this is what I'll put into the oven. These have overrisen, but I'm sure it'll be fine. So much. The water's just about boiling. I'm going to transfer these bagels into the pot one by one and allow them to cook for 1 minute on each side. I'm stirring the tomato sauce there as well. Then I'll transfer them to the other baking sheet and I'll repeat this process again until I've cooked all the bagels. You want to try to not crowd the pot like I did necessarily, but they won't stick to each other once they've touched the water, so it's no big deal. The last step for these misshapen bagels is an egg wash. And I'll put sesame seeds and everything bagel seasoning. These are probably the most misshapen bagels I've ever made. But this is real life when you're trying to get things done in the kitchen with 4 kids. And that's fine. We need to be flexible. Not everything is perfect. They're not ready yet. I make bagels for my family about once a week. My kids love them, and there's nowhere to get good bagels around us. You can top your bagels however you like. I've also added different things into the dough. So I've made bagels with cheese or blueberry bagels too. There's so many different possibilities. Let me put these in the oven now. Okay, I got everything tidied up. Let's move on to the next project. Before I even get started on these zucchinis, I think I should make some popsicles. My kids ran out of popsicles and they love them. So I'm going to make them because it's really hot out today and maybe they'll be frozen by this afternoon. Maybe not, but either way, they can have them tomorrow then. I think I'll just make one type of popsicle today. Let me see what fruit I have. Let's do this quick. Maple syrup in these ones, just cause. Water. And we blend. I find myself making these all summer long, about every 2 to 3 days. I didn't actually fill the whole tray here because I don't have enough popsicle sticks, so it's fine. I'll use a fork. Put these on a tray and I'll bring them downstairs to freeze soon. Next up, I decided instead of doing zucchinis and cucumbers right now, I will tend to these peaches I have and these blueberries we picked. So I bought these peaches at the store and they're not good. I don't know the best way to get the skin off. I think I'm going to place them in boiling water so I can just rub the skin off and then I'll cut them up and start to cook them down. Who wants to help me clean these blueberries? Are they good? Mm-hmm. Sorting blueberries was a perfect task for my kids, but I'm not sure if they ate more than they sorted. Put the bagels out. We will have these for lunch. Together we went through all the blueberries, removing the stems and picking out any yucky ones. I was also skinning the peaches. You can take a little break. So along with the bagels, we are going to have some nice thick cut bacon. I got this from a local butcher. These pieces are real thick and they are so good. I'm going to use the rest of the egg wash for my lunch. It's like a late breakfast brunch we're having. One. Can you go open the gate? You want? Okay. Here's my kids' meals,
Oh.
and that's mine.
Hello.
After lunch, I was just finishing off these peaches, skinning them, putting them in this pot, and then I transferred them over to the stove to simmer and to soften. While the peaches are cooking down on the stove, I wanted to get started on, I think I'm making a blueberry pie. I have to do something with these blueberries, and my daughters have been asking me for blueberry pie. It should be fairly quick. I find blueberry pie to be one of the quickest pies to make, so no problems there. So right now, the baby's asleep, and my other three are playing outside on their bouncy castle. So I have some time to really get things done. I know I want to make a pie, and I want to make it with lard. I just prefer the way the crust turns out when I make it with lard. This is my pie dish. My mom gave this to me, and I love it. Sometimes you need to kind of be a little flexible with pies. I usually like to do it so that the blueberries fill the dish, and once I put the pie crust in, it'll elevate it a bit, and once they cook, they reduce in size too. I may even add a couple more to this. A recipe is great and all, but sometimes you need to really look at the size of your dish and how deep you want the pie to be. So that looks good to me. I'm going to use that. I will add the juice of half a lemon. Maybe a bit less. I'm not going to fully squeeze it out. I think that's plenty. A cup of sugar and see how it coats it. Get that in there. And along with the sugar, we need some cornstarch. This will help it thicken and so that it's not just this watery, goopy mess. 2 tablespoons. I'll put this aside. I need 325 grams of flour. I'm going to put a bit less flour than I need because when I go to roll out the dough, I'm going to be adding flour to it, so I don't want it to dry out more than it needs to. Half a teaspoon of salt. Measure with your heart. 1 tablespoon of sugar. Look, it's going to be 6 to 8 tablespoons of cold water. You want to keep this cold. It's what makes the pie crust really flaky. You don't want it to all start to melt together because then it just won't be as delicious as it could be. I am going to cube the lard and add it to the bowl. I have not mixed this yet. Mix. So these ingredients are well mixed together. So I'll start with the lard that I already have opened. And I want to work kind of quick here, so it's a good thing that I don't have my kids disrupting me. When I make pie crust, it's one of the things that I actually ask my husband to sort of be there because I don't want the kids to get all in my way and prevent me from finishing it in one shot, because it really does make the crust a lot worse if it gets warm. You want it to stay nice and cold and fresh. And so I need sort of his help sometimes if I'm making a pie, just to ensure that it's, of good quality. Not like the bagels I made this morning that had many disruptions during. I should be good now. I guess I shouldn't speak before I complete this. I'm just cubing these. They're just, tiny, like 1/2 inch to 1 inch cubes. I need a cup of lard, or 230 grams. Now this one's frozen, which honestly is great to use. It was just so frozen before that would be extremely hard for me to cut. It's even still hard for me to open. I'll cube this as best as possible, but really it's just kind of breaking apart into pieces. I am going to use a butter cutter or lard cutter for this purpose. I also have my cold water prepared. Now, if you don't want to use a butter cutter because it takes like a bit more time or you don't have one, you could use a food processor and just pulse it a couple times. I have a kid sleeping, so I don't want to make that much noise. So I'll just, give it a bit more work. And I'm going to add the water as I see necessary. I'll try to add the water to sections that I see being a bit more dry. One of the tricks that I use is when I'm doing this and it starts all clumping up and sticking inside the dough scraper, I know that it's done and it'll come together nicely. Sometimes it's best to let the pie dough sit in the fridge. I'll do that with half of it, but I really need to get these pies made, so I'm going to roll out the first half so that I can make this pie. I always take some extra flour just on the side in case I need it. I'm going to take about 40% of the pie dough and I'm going to wrap it up and put it in the fridge. It'll be the top layer, so I don't need it right now. I know I want it to stay nice and cold. I'm going to try to make it into a circle. Press it together a bit. That way it'll be easy when I go to roll it out. You can see the little like layers of lard in there, and that's what you want to see. You don't want it to all be like melted within. Now let me get to this quickly. I'm going to roll this out. Use a good amount of flour. You really don't want it to stick. This is getting pretty soft. I got to work kind of quick with it. It's going to crack because I didn't chill it before using it, and that's fine. You don't have to. Make sure it's not all sticking. A dough scraper is great to use for pie crust. Flour here. And then I know that that side won't stick. Flip and more flour. Oh my God. That almost fell off the counter. I think if I try to roll this out anymore, it's going to be too thin. I'm going to try to transfer it now. So a good trick, you use the rolling pin, go slowly, roll it up onto it, and it shouldn't stick too much. It's okay if it cracks a bit. Yeah. You put flour on the surface. Just fill in the cracks. This is why you should chill a pie first, but no big deal. No problem. It'll taste delicious. You'll see the second half will work better. But again, it's one of those days. Just have to be flexible. Look, there we go. Pie crust, done. Is it perfect? No. Will my kids love it? Of course. Let's take these blueberries that we have. I'm going to dump these in now. I'm going to add some butter, little pieces. Time for the top crust. So same process. This really only had about, 6 minutes to chill, but that's okay. We'll work with it anyways. Same thing, flour on top. Make sure your rolling pin is also floured. Want to sort of keep moving it, make sure it's not sticking to your countertop. That's important. This one I don't want to break quite as easily. So we want it to go smoothly on top. Should be good. Same process. I'm going to fold the excess under. Okay, last step to this, I need an egg wash. I actually think I'm just going to use the egg yolk, so I will separate it. Not everything has to be super clean and nice. Sometimes it's easiest to, oh! I got it. Sometimes it's easiest to just use our hands and get a little dirty. Egg yolk goes in. I want to cut some air pockets first. And then we egg wash. I'm going to pop this in the oven. I have it set to 350. This will probably take about an hour. I am also going to put a rack underneath just in case it bubbles over. I don't want any juices, falling into my oven and then having to clean my whole oven today. I'm tired and I would like nothing more than to go enjoy a coffee with my kids outside, but I need to finish this jam. So the peaches have really cooked down and it's time that I think I add sugar, pectin, and I blend it up. So I'm gonna blend it first. I don't need to fully blend it to so that it's a super smooth consistency because I like a little bit of chunks in my jam. But I want to blend it because right now it still has some very large chunks. I'm gonna add some pectin now. This will get it to congeal. Get scissors. Added the whole thing. I think it's gonna need the whole thing. Jam making really doesn't have to be difficult. It's so easy to do. Just some fruit, some sugar, and some pectin. Add some sugar. Again, I'm eyeing it, but I will try it. That's the trick. And remember, when you make jam, after it sets and cools, it's not going to taste as sweet as it initially did. So you want to add just a little bit more sugar than you think you need. I've added about a cup now. And not all jams need to be canned. You could put this in the fridge and eat it right away if you don't like actually canning them. I can them most of the time and I usually leave a batch in the fridge just so that they become shelf stable and so that we can enjoy them all winter long. So let's give it a try to see if it's sweet enough. It's still very hot. That's so good. I think I need to make peach jam more often. Now I need to check if it is thick enough. Good trick to use, put a plate in the freezer. This will help it cool because you can only check the consistency once it's cooled. Put a bit on the plate. I'm gonna just wait a little bit. But I think already I can tell that it's definitely thick enough. It's not really just like liquid pouring down. It's slowly moving down, but I think it's pretty good jam consistency for us to eat now. So good. I'm gonna can this one afterwards, later tonight probably, once I have a bunch of other things I need to can too. So just making sure that there's no bubbles. Wipe down the rim. Put a clean lid a new lid, sorry. And that's ready to be enjoyed in the future. This one here, I'll just put a reusable lid on and we will have this tomorrow. I'll probably make some fresh bread tomorrow morning so that we can have some of this. This is what I call my rustic pie. Pizza night was a huge success. There's nothing quite like homemade dough, homemade sauce, and fresh ingredients. I think our pizza oven may be my favorite appliance. It is late at night and I'm tired. All the pizza has been made and these are our leftovers. These will be great for lunch tomorrow. Making everything homemade doesn't have to be perfect. It's something that I strive to do, and I have realized that not everything needs to look as aesthetically pleasing as maybe you see online. It's not easy. It's something that takes time and practice and patience. But the more you work at it, the better you get, and the more rewarding it is. I know that today my kids ate very well. They had nice, nourishing meals. They enjoyed the food that they were eating, and they even got to take part in making it. Right now, I'm just making an overnight bread recipe. I will include the link in the description below. This is my easiest bread recipe. So things that were a success today, I was able to get the things I needed to get done, like making their lunch, making the tomato sauce for the pizza night. I didn't get to it all. I still have a pile of cucumbers and zucchinis just sitting in my fridge waiting for me. I was able to make a blueberry pie. We actually didn't eat the pie though. It's in the fridge as well because my husband likes his pie cold. And I mean, it is delicious cold. And we ended up making a dessert pizza with the pizza and the peach jam that I had made. So that was really good. And we didn't need a second dessert. So it's perfect because I have leftovers for tomorrow. I have a pie for tomorrow. So all this hard work that I did is going to really pay off tomorrow. I'll be able to spend a bit more time playing outside with the kids, tending to the garden, doing other things that need to be done. Housework, of course, too. Salt. Now, we'll see if tomorrow I can get the pickles and relish done. Watch me go out to the garden and I'm going to have like a whole other pile of cucumbers and zucchinis to pick, which I mean, maybe that's better so I can do it just in one big batch. I thought we might as well try this pie while everyone's busy. Looks so good. It's so good. Crust is nice and salty and flaky. And the blueberries, so sweet and gooey.